You know the best part about going to a movie? You sit down, you have your popcorn soda, and you watch a movie, and then you go, "What the hell just happened?" That's Midsummer. What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of Midsummer, the newest film from director Ari Aster and stars Florence Pugh, Jack Reynor, and Will Poulter. And so this is the follow-up to Ari Aster's Hereditary. Hereditary is one of those films that a lot of critics liked. A lot of people like myself went to see and didn't care for. It wasn't saying that it was a bad film because I did like aspects of it. I just didn't feel that it worked on all the levels that the critics were saying, and that's fine. A lot of times that happens. The critics like something that the audience doesn't, vice versa. But this year we got a new film from Ari Aster, and it's called Midsummer. And Midsummer is the basic story of Florence Pugh plays this character named Danny. She has just recently lost her parents and her sister, and she decides to go overseas to Sweden with her boyfriend and her friends, and they end up in this like remote village that has this weird, eerie, Wicker Man style quality where things just don't feel right. Things are happening. It just everything starts to, as you know from those types of films, something just doesn't feel right and it feels off. And it becomes more and more apparent of what's going on. And I don't want to spoil anything for you in case you want to see it, but it's not an easy movie to watch because there's a lot of interesting, disturbing content in here, but it's also saying a lot of stuff about certain subjects. There's a subject with the boyfriend who's played by Jack Reynor, who's dating Florence Pugh's character, and they're having their problems. He wants to basically not divorce her, but drop her as his girlfriend, and there's that whole dynamic there. But I think what sets this movie apart from Hereditary is the scope and feel of the nature of the film. It's a film that is doing a lot of things. It's saying a lot of things, but it's doing it in very interesting and weird, just dichotomy and weird, just views of society. And that's what I kind of liked about it. I'm not saying it's a good film. I actually had a lot of issues with it, with just the feel and the tone, and sometimes it gets really confusing. And yes, there are stories and there are articles out there about explaining about what's going on, but sometimes I think Ari Aster gets a little too full of himself in his just going to weird depths of like strangeness, I guess you could say. And that doesn't mean it's not a bad movie. It just sometimes it just becomes full of itself. And this movie's also 2 hours and 20 minutes, and it didn't really need to be 2 hours and 20 minutes. This movie could have been 2 hours or less because there's certain portions of this movie where it just really drags, or stuff just keeps going. And I understand that there's a whole point to a director doing that kind of stuff, but sometimes it just becomes too much, and sometimes it becomes too just overwrought, I guess you could say. And some of the disturbing content in here is like 100 times more disturbing than what you ever saw in Hereditary. There's some graphic stuff going on in this movie, and he's doing it to kind of say a message about the way things are going. Because this is a Swedish society that's remote. They have a lot of ideas and ideologies and stuff that they go by in religion, and that stuff's really cool to watch, but sometimes it just gets baked into the background and it just becomes kind of muddled, I guess you could say. And the one thing I do like about this movie is Florence Pugh as Danny. I think she's fantastic. Once again, Ari Aster brings a whole new performance level out of these actors and actresses. I even think Jack Reynor is pretty good, even though he kind of gets dropped into the background. Will Poulter is kind of in this movie, but he's more of like a surrogate for us as in our mind of how we think about these types of things. But Florence Pugh, this is her kind of story, her journey after what she's gone through, and she's fantastic in what she's doing. And Ari Aster gets a lot of really deep moments out of her in the fact that how she lost her parents. She's really affected by it because it's really unsettling to her, and it causes her to have mental breakdowns and have the problems where if we lose parents like she does, we're gonna have those issues too, and that's what makes it really interesting and fascinating. But like I said, it's not a movie that you go in there going, "Oh, this is gonna be a great horror film," because it's like Hereditary. It's not an easy film to to comprehend sometimes. And I enjoy that, but I don't enjoy that. So it is what it is. I do think the cinematography, like Hereditary, is fantastic. It's very similar in how it's shot. There's a lot of dolly shots. There's a lot of side movement shots, and the look and feel of the Swedish town that they go to is really really cool to watch. The light and the fact that it's mostly in daytime, and just the odd nature of the filters he's using for the cameras it gives it a real creepy feel throughout the entire movie until it gets to its very conclusion, which, like I said, I won't spoil. So, but yeah, Midsummer it's an interesting film. Once again, like Hereditary, it's not an easy film to watch, and a lot of people are gonna be put off by it. There are people laughing at certain moments which really aren't meant to be funny. Maybe it's a little funny, but I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy this movie more than Hereditary, but it's still, once again, I think it's just muddled messaging and just trying to be too much more clever than he really is, I guess you could say. So take that for what it's worth. You might like it more than I did. I know some people who really love Hereditary, and that's perfectly fine. But like I said, maybe Ari Aster is just not my cup of tea when it comes to horror directors. So, but thank you so much for watching. That'll do it for my take on Midsommar. Comment below, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top. Find out what I'm doing later. But comment when you do see this, or if you've seen Hereditary. Tell me what you think. I'd be interested to know. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these 2 videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.